All right, on the Next Up Bodybuilding podcast, we have my guy, Mr. Gary Cooper, Mr. 2019 overall men's physique, and we'll get into the rest later. But how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing fine, man. I'm blessed. I can't complain.
Good.
I'm healthy. Everybody, my family's good. I
Good.
can't complain, man.
Dude, that's what we want to hear. Congratulations. I know you just got off stage, at Atlanta for the Chicago Pro. We're going to dive into that a little bit later. But your tan looks wonderful. I hope that experience is good. And you're up in New York, right?
Yeah, Rochester, New York. So we just outside of Buffalo,
Okay.
about 5 hours out from the city. So it's a little different. It's a city. It's not a suburb or nothing like that. It's definitely a city. Just
Okay.
like any other city. It's rough up here. Yeah. And I come from it. I'm really a kid that grew up in the ghetto is what they want to call it. Right in the projects.
Yep.
Around it all. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it was like everything that I experienced and learned and went through in that life and growing up is what I apply to my life now. You know what I mean? In regards to the hustling, the work ethic, the grinding, all of that. It's all embedded in me now in a different way. You know what I'm saying?
Constant nigga, anonymous. I just sang on this shit. Nigga sang on this shit like this. Young Crook. Still tippy-toeing, no screw caddy doing. Country boy and way too hot in here. Shit, I've been hot for years. Swimming through the trenches, roaches in your kitchen, peeking out the window doing dishes. Who that is, they look suspicious. Cutting through the yard, trying to make a living. Knives, workers in the field, ball faded when they trim it, line it up to the tippy top. With a bitch that loves shining knob like she missed a spot. You would think she missed a lot.
If you're a professional at anything, you got to have that hustle and that grind, and a lot of those folks are made from, I'm from the South, right? My parents are both from New Orleans, and they refer to it as, I'm from the mud, right?
Yeah.
There's definitely, if there's not dirt on my shoes, there's dirt on my daddy's shoes type shit. It's not that far removed from me.
Right.
So, man.
Apple don't fall far from the tree.
I understand it. So you talked about, upbringing and stuff. And you're a professional bodybuilder, but you ain't won the O yet. Talked about being a hustler. Like, what do you do for a day job? What keeps the lights on? I always love to give context, right? Because I have a day job.
So I love to tell this part, because when people ask me, because even today someone asked me, yo, what do you do for work? Where do you work at?
Yeah.
I'm actually a school bus driver. So it's fun because the kids, when they see me and, the way I look, my size, the parents are all like staring at me as I'm sitting here letting the kids on the bus. And I'm this nice guy, but this big guy who kind of like is a little intimidating, but it's so nice. And it's like, so I do, that's what I do for work. And then I also do some personal training, which was my original thing. I was fully immersed into that, doing just personal training. That was always going well for me, but I've wanted to do something else and start doing other things because I wanted to put more focus into myself.
Okay.
So in regards to bodybuilding, I should say, so I scaled back a little bit on that. And then when COVID hit, I jumped into online training, which has been really good for me. So right now I'm more online training and doing the school bus driving. That's what I do.
Okay. All right. We're going to unpack some of those things. But you mentioned something, you wanted to focus on you.
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean by that?
What I mean by that was so in the personal training field, it's kind of rough because you're going to have clients who are 100% dedicated, and then you're going to have those 50%, those 25% that's how much effort they give to you. And unfortunately, when those people are not seeing results or doing anything, the outside people who are their friends and things like that are saying, why are you wasting your money doing that? That trainer is no good. It's not helping you. But really, it's the individual and it's not the trainer. So I've dealt with a lot of headaches like that with certain people. So what I wanted to do was stop giving so much time to that, because what it was doing was I found myself really tired, a lot more headaches and stress. And I was trying to work around that schedule to fit in my workouts and get my meals in and things. And wanting to progress as a bodybuilder to get to another level, I needed more time to be able to do those things. I couldn't be getting a 45-minute workout in, and now I can't do my cardio, and I got to wait to do cardio later. No, I have a set way of how I do things, and that just wasn't working for me. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to fall back. But it all happened when COVID hit, and that's where it was like, all right, this is my opportunity.
So I don't tell everybody this, but everyone I know has profited off of COVID, right? Either monetarily or, me, myself, I've got a chance to spend, time with my parents, right? Flew down to Texas for about 2 months when, it really started taking off. And, at my age of 28, being able to hang out with my parents at 50, 55-ish, right? This is probably the last stage of their life where we're all in really good health and can enjoy one another. So that's what I mean by everyone's profited. And the boys that have profited financially that I think about during this time, they all got one thing in common. They're all hustlers, right? They were going to get it regardless.
Hell yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely, man. For real. That's where I come from, man. It was like, if you don't hustle and you don't grind, then you don't eat. You know what I mean? It's like you got other people that you got to worry about that's doing the same things, that's trying to take that money out of your pocket so they can take care of themselves. And if you don't go out there and compete against them, then you're going to be behind in the bottom. And it's the same thing when we apply it to the bodybuilding world and when we doing these shows. If I don't work hard, if I don't hustle hard and grind and do what I'm supposed to do, then I'm going to constantly fall behind, and these guys are going to pass me and be more successful than me. So I have to continue to outwork and work hard and work hard. I have a philosophy on, and I don't know if that's the correct term I should be using, but the way that I approach my prep or whatever it is I always hustle and work hard like I'm in last place at all times. I never get to the point where I'm like, yo, I look amazing, I'm great, I'm good. I just got, nope, let's go. We got to keep working. I don't feel like this is enough. That's how I've always been, Man,
I love it. And that's probably one of the reasons why, you've been so successful, right? Last year in 2019, July, you took the overall in the men's physique category.
Yeah. And
can't tell you how many times I've looked at that video.
I mean, tell me about it. Sometimes, I look at it and I literally still get the chills from it because, man, I don't know if you know my story or anybody knows that might have watched this or whatever, but I went through a rough patch in 2018 that led me to that show. I did Universe in 2018, and I placed, and I got in the second call outs, and I placed 11th in my group, and I was so embarrassed. I was so disappointed. I felt like I had let so many people down that was, had my back, believing in me, and I wasn't giving it 100%. But I had went through some personal stuff that was causing my focus to not be there.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? When we left in 2018, that weekend on Sunday while we were driving, I told my lady, I said, hey, listen, I'm sorry. I feel like I let you down. After everything, you did for me and all that, see if you can book the hotel a year from now, because I'm going to go back and I'm going to win the whole show. I'm telling you. And I said, that was the thing that I told her. I said, I'm going to go back next year and I'm going to win the show.
Yeah.
And for it to actually happen was like, oh my goodness. I mean, I became in tune with my pro self way before I turned pro at that show, man. And it was nothing about being cocky, arrogant, or anything like that. It was just pure confidence in my abilities, knowing that if I gave it 100%, then I would be undeniable. And that's what I proved to myself, that I was able to do it.
Yeah. Damn. So I really never had a shot at getting the overall. Shit. Got that chip on your shoulder for a year.
It was already in the bag. I was like, what? I got there. I got backstage and I was in a different mental space. I didn't put no music on.
Yeah, music.
I sat down on the floor. No, I sat down on the floor in the corner and I just chilled. I looked at my phone a little bit. I watched everybody walk around here and there. And I kept saying to myself, and I mean, again, I'm a very humble person, but I felt so good about what I was where I was physically, I said, which one of these guys coming in second? That's it. Because I'm coming in first. If I win my class, I'm going to win the overall. That's how I felt about it. And I remember walking on stage and feeling like every time I stepped and hit a pose, I said, this is my stage. That's what I was telling myself in my head. I kept telling myself that this is my stage. This is me. This is mine. And it showed in my smile, in my presence. It was also the first time that I ever had support for me in the crowd. I had some friends that decided to come out that year. Nice. First time I ever had that after all that was my 6th show I had ever done. And I never had anybody. My girl is the only one that ever goes to my shows with me. Okay. That's my right hand, my road dog. She take care of everything for me. And everything was just clicking. It was just working for me.
Dude, I love it. Real quick, I wanted to shout out to your girl. Shout out to the women in our lives.
Yeah.
We appreciate you putting up with us.
Definitely, because it's not easy.
I'm putting up with one right now. She upstairs. She's going to nationals in Orlando this year. So,
that's awesome.
I wouldn't have made it, this far without her for sure.
Definitely, me neither, man.
I know the same could be said for you, man. That's hearing that story doesn't make me feel as bad now.
yeah, we all one and the same in a way, man. We all go through it, It's crazy, man.
Man, that was a great show, great experience. Meeting you, Mike Christian, all the boys over there. It was just really cool. Yeah. I like how you were just sitting down. And we'll talk about this. But when I remember getting to Universe and being backstage, and I didn't want to be the guy with the headphones in.
Yeah.
Everyone else had their headphones in, and they were just mean bugging me. I was like, what? Whatever. I went in with the almost similar philosophy as you, right?
Mm-hmm.
I flew from Phoenix. I've been prepping for the show since, into January, 1st of February. This was the only thing on the docket. We had it dialed in from day one.
Right.
I was like, this is a business transaction.
I love it. Yes.
I'm going there. Gonna get my pro card. I'm gonna go home.
That's it.
That's what I did. I was like,
take care of business, and and that's it. I love it. That's the way it's supposed to be.
Yep. Like you and I and everyone else on that stage, who walked home, happy. We put in the work.
Yes.
And rewarded. Right.
Yes. That's the reward of actually doing what you're supposed to and working hard for it, and not taking any shortcuts or doing anything that you're always going to be rewarded for putting in the work. And I mean, let's fast forward really quickly to my pro debut. That's it. You will be rewarded if you put the work in.
Okay. Before we get to your pro debut, you're coached by Omar.
Yes, Omar Ventura. Team Ventura, man. Shout out to the game.
The team. Because all I think about is Ace Ventura. This is the only thing I can think about.
Yeah.
That's got some quality guys, but I'm just like, all right, where's Jim Carrey at?
Omar is Jim Carrey, man. He's a funny dude, man. I'm telling you, he's a funny dude, man. A lot of people see him with this straight face and think he all business. He is a clown, man. All he do is joke. He keep up with us all. He talks to us all. Some people would beg to differ with that because of just how he is. He's one person. He's the type of person that is he doesn't have many words for the most part. There's times where he will talk a lot and have fun, but you can ask him a question on the text or something, 3 questions, and he answers you with 1 word. And you like, oh, this guy doesn't like me. So you gotta understand that one thing about. You have to, and this is what anybody's coach, I feel like, you got to understand what your coach's style is and what they're trying to get out of you, and with him is more about, I'm not going to hold your hand. I want you to learn. I don't want to sit here and spoon feed this stuff to you, because if I do that, then at the end of the day, you're going to panic and not know what to do when you are faced with some type of adversity and whatever the case is. Yeah. So with him, it's like he's teaching, he's grooming, he's helping you, empowering you the whole time. And if you can't see that, then 9 times out of 10, that person is the one who's not going to be successful at what they're trying to accomplish.
I like it. And that was my question. What is his style? Now, tell me about your style when you're in the gym. So I'm pretty sure Omar gives you the plan for nutrition. Does he also give you a plan for your workouts?
He does. He also does provide you.
Those. I love talking about training.
So with his style, I remember my first time working with him, which was in 2018, and I got my first plan, and I said, okay, he gives me the workouts. This is pretty cool. And when I went to do it, I was gassed in like maybe the first, second exercise. I was like, this is different. So he's all about frequency. And this is just meaning training those muscle groups more than one time a week.
Yeah.
So you are going to be 1 week or for 2 weeks in a row, you're going to be touching your shoulders 3 times, somewhere split up in between. Maybe you have a leg day and then you got some shoulder work in between or at the end or in the beginning. On your chest day, you're going to have, just maybe some quads on that day or something. So that's how it works. And for me, I have a way of approaching it where I follow it to a T in my first week. And then the very next week, what I do is I just follow the muscle group and I change the exercises. So that way it stays a little bit more fresh for me where I'm not doing the same things and it's not repetitive for me.
Yeah.
And it also helps the body with kind of shocking it in a way and keeping it guessing. So it doesn't, because I feel like our bodies adapt really quickly to anything that we do. So I just kind of approach it that way. I do everything that's on there most of the time. I might skip the ab part a little bit, but people will probably see my abs and say, you're lying. Nah, I do. I don't have time for it, man. I'm just going to do my cardio. I'm going to go home.
Yeah, I'm tired.
Yeah, I'm tired, man.
Shit. Nah, dude, I feel you on that. It's like, it's like, what is it? Allen Iverson practice?
Yeah, you talking about practice?
Practice?
Like, seriously? I'm supposed to be a franchise player?
Yeah. I mean, I've seen like Lucky talk about, doing abs and him just laughing about it. And I'm like, yeah, I should probably do that a little bit more. But all right, no one else is doing them too.
Yeah. There was a time where I think in 2019, I did a little bit more than I normally would. I tried to really give everything to that prep, heading into universe where I just wanted to do something different because I felt like I needed to really give everything I could to that, and that was my longest prep I've ever done. Also, it was a 17-week prep, which was pretty tough for me mentally. At times it was tough physically, especially towards the end where, our energy gets low, very moody, tired, don't want to go to the gym. You do make it to the gym, you feel like you did a half-ass workout, but for the most part, you did something and it mattered, So I always kept that in mind that I did show up and I did something. So it's the least I could do.
Yeah. I think it's not a real prep if you don't have those, life questioning moments. Like, what the hell am I doing?
Like, do I really want to do this? You wake up in the morning at 4 a.m, the alarm goes off and you sit on the edge of the bed and you say, I don't know about this today. Maybe I'm just going to lay back down. And then you say, man, get up, man. Get up. Nobody's forcing me to do this. I choose to do it, and it's a privilege. So as long as I'm physically capable of, doing these things, I'm going to do it because I can. What if I can't one day, I'm going to look back at the times and say, damn, I wasted a lot of my time, and my ability because I wanted to be lazy, and that's not me.
Yeah, exactly. All right, dude. I love it. I love learning about, Omar's, training style, coaching style, where you're at 2019. One comment I do want to make is the Ventura rows. I'm a big fan of those.
Ooh, yeah.
I actually found those out last year getting ready for Universe, and I was like, let me try to implement a couple of these.
Oh, it's pretty dope because it's like the best of both compound movements in regards to a barbell row, bent over barbell row, and a rack pull.
Yep. And
if you are someone who understands how to engage in your muscle with that mind to muscle connection, because that is a very like most people don't really take it serious. I think they don't really understand how serious that is.
Yeah.
If you can connect and you could do it, you can really feel that movement. It is tough.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's a great movement.
Definitely.
All right, so let's get into the Chicago Pro.
Yeah.
Tell me about this prep, starting with COVID. All right.
Well,
you cut back from personal training, and then you're in New York. New York just went to hell quick. I saw Andrew Cuomo every other day.
we had it bad. We had it really bad up here, but I was one of the fortunate ones who had a gym the entire time.
Noticed that.
I had a friend who owns he's a manager, a big manager in a construction and property management company who has properties all over the city. And he told me that he had a place that I could use. And most people seen it, it was like, yo, can you get me in there? And I'm like, absolutely, I can, especially with how sensitive it was at that point with COVID. Yeah. There's no way I'm bringing extra people around, you know? So I was able to have training the entire time when everything got shut down in like that first week of March. Now, I was on prep probably like maybe the second or third week of February. I had started prep. I had a lineup set up, and this is right before COVID even came out. I had myself lined up for the Europa in Orlando in May.
Okay.
At the Toronto Pro right behind it, which was about a month out, 2 weeks later, and that's close to me.
Yeah.
And then 3 weeks later was the Boston Pro.
Yep.
And then the very following week after that, 1 week out, was the Chicago Pro. So those were 4 shows that I lined up because I was going to make a run at the O. That was my idea right there.
Yep.
Yeah, I felt really good about the Europa. I was confident in my mind, like, I'm going to go win this show, you know?
Oh, yeah.
And the first thing that happened when COVID hit was Toronto Pro got canceled. So I'm like, okay, now I'm down to 3 shows. And then Boston got canceled. Okay, now I'm down to 2 shows. And then as I got closer, about 7 weeks out, Chicago gets canceled. So now I'm down to 1 show. I get out to about 5 weeks, and that show gets canceled. So I'm like, oh, man, you know what? Forget about this year. 2020 is a wrap. I'm not going to do anything. It's a waste of time. I'm just going to wait until next year.
Yep.
And I mean, clear that didn't work. That didn't happen. But how it happened was I started to kind of get myself in shape without trying. And when I realized that I was
hold on. What does that mean?
I didn't have a set structured plan with my diet.
Okay.
To get myself in shape. I just decided to keep up on where I was at 5 weeks out.
Okay.
And I tried to see how long I could stretch this thing out over the summer to keep myself in shape. And I stayed in really good shape doing some things that was unorthodox. Like I was still eating cheeseburgers, but I was doing them at home. I was eating on the schedule still of every 3 hours.
Yeah.
I wasn't overdoing it with sweets and things like that. And I found that I had this different mentality when it came to dieting when I had no goal, because I always thought that I could only do this diet thing when I had a goal, which would be a show. Yeah. And once I seen that I was able to keep myself in shape, I said, maybe I should look for something. So they ended up moving Boston back onto the roster in like October.
Okay.
So it was going to be October 10th. And when I seen it was out there, I was nervous. I went to my girl and I wanted to ask her and tell her I wanted to do a show because I had told her I was shutting it down for the whole year. I'm not doing anything. So when it came up, I was
You're trying to work that shit back.
Yeah, I got to backtrack on my words. I said I wasn't going to do anything. And I'm like, okay, well, how do I bring this up to her?
Yeah.
So I told her, and she was on board with it. And I said, okay, so look, I'm going to do Boston and I'm going to do Chicago the week after. They're right behind each other. I'm just going to do them both. She's like, okay, let's do it. So I talked to my coach, reached out to him. He's like, let me see what you look like. I showed him. He said, you only need 8 weeks. I was like, 8 weeks? I was like, okay, well, let's go for it. And I was a little bit nervous because it was a shorter prep.
Yeah.
And I've never done that. It's half the time what I normally do. And literally, I start prep on a Monday. And Monday night, when I'm meal 6, I get a text from him. He's like, they just canceled Boston. I'm like, oh my goodness. So now I'm looking at her. We already got the hotels booked. We everything is ready to go. So I tell her, and I know she's not gonna like it. And I said, well, we still got Chicago. Hopefully Chicago stays on. And so I, refocused myself and got, kept up with it. And that turned into a 9-week prep, which again is still my shortest prep I've ever done.
Yeah.
And Chicago looked great the whole time. It never seemed that there was a threat. It wasn't on the COVID hotspot list at one point.
Oh.
And then about a couple weeks in, the state of Illinois became a hotspot. So now it was threatening the show. And then immediately they changed it to Atlanta. So now I'm like, okay, this is going to happen. We're going to go. This show is happening.
Yeah.
So I just kept going. I kept rolling with it. And eventually we made it to the show, man. And it was like almost a surreal thing for me because I didn't think we were going to get there.
Yeah.
But I remained hopeful, and I was hoping for the love, man. For the sake of goodness, man, that I didn't have to tell her, oh, another show got canceled. Because once I told her that it got moved from Chicago to Atlanta, she's like, oh my God, I got the hotel book, I got the flight book.
Yeah.
Now I got to change all this.
Yep.
And I'm like, I'm gonna go walk over here. You go ahead and do your thing and fix all that. Yeah, so that was all the things I had to deal with. I was just lucky enough and blessed to have a gym. I bought a house. Me and her bought a house in July. We closed on our house, so I had that going on. You know, it's beautiful, man. There was some good that came out of 2020. You know, and once I did that, I started to accumulate gym equipment. So I actually have a full gym minus a leg extension in my garage right now that I have to use. So that was also a big thing in case if the gyms really didn't open up, I had a full space to train at, you know, in my house. And luckily the gyms opened and stayed open. And I was able to finish my prep pretty strong.
Very strong.
Yeah, dieted hard. I questioned a lot with doing a shorter prep this whole time. There was times I would look at myself and say, I don't know about this, you know?
Yeah.
But I knew that I had to trust in my preparation and knew that I was not cheating myself. I was doing everything that I was supposed to do.
Yep.
And it would work out in the end for me. And ultimately, it worked out much better than I expected, I could say, you know?
Yeah. Worked out very well. And we'll get to that.
Very well.
Dude, I feel you on that. We bought our house where we're in right now in May. And like you, I was like a madman scrounging up gym equipment.
Yeah.
So I got enough stuff downstairs for COVID 2.0, and I'm gonna be fine.
Yes. I'm so ready if it happens.
I am good. But like, yeah, it was crazy. We were going like everywhere. Like I went to like 2 other states just to pick up gym equipment.
I believe you. I had to travel a little bit to find things. I had to really search and dig deep and look around. And as soon as you find something, you have to just be on top of messaging whoever it is. And I got lucky and found a good amount of stuff, man. And it worked out really well for me.
Good.
I've used it one time.
Yeah, I know.
One time. So all this headache stuff of trying to take these things, and I've used this stuff one time, man. It's crazy.
Luckily for me, I acquired like a Bowflex tread climber. I don't know if you're familiar with that. So I got one of those. Phenomenal. I love it. Highly recommend it. And then also got a spin bike, right? So we can get some morning cardio. Like my wife's on it almost every day now, 4.5 weeks out, nationals. But then like the other Bowflex cable machine, just set up in a corner. I got the folding squat rack. Haven't touched it. Just chilling in the garage.
You got it though.
I got it though.
Yeah.
I ain't never getting rid of it.
Nah, never.
I feel like a hoarder.
I know I am. It's kind of bad.
It's like, it's not bad. Let me get that. So tell me how was Atlanta, and how was not the show, but getting to the show, the check-in, the competitors. What was that like? Because that was a big show.
It kept growing as the list came out. It started originally. I think I counted 40. Then it would turn to 43, and then ultimately it landed at 50. And I was looking at the names, and I was like, because obviously as amateurs and when we turn pro, we know who's who. If we're in this, we're following these guys. We're looking at them. We're like, man, he's dope. He's dope. You know, you see all these guys always in the first call outs, always in the mix. And then to see these guys' names on this list of a show that I'm going for as my pro debut, which wasn't in my plan to be my pro debut. I wanted to get a little seasoned before I did something that prestigious of a show. But it's how the chips fell that I had to do it. And leading up to it, I remember feeling really confident in peak week going into it. I started to see my body look a lot different. I felt good and got there 2 days prior. So got there on a Wednesday, which I wish I would have got there sooner. In my mind, I wanted to get there sooner because of flying, water retention, thinking that it was going to be a big mess. So I formulated this plan in my mind to combat that so it wouldn't be as bad. I didn't know if it was going to work. It was more about just my knowledge of just training how the body works and how my body responds to things. I basically didn't even have any water retention. I had some, but it was such a slight amount that I was like, okay, I nailed it. You know, I got there. So check-ins roll around Thursday. I get there and we at the hotel and I'm seeing these guys now in person and I'm like, these guys are big. I don't know if I'm, I don't think I'm this big. I think I got back to my room and I was a little bit defeated. I can't even lie. I kind of was. It was weird. My girl was like, hey, why are you so down now? What's wrong? What changed? I said, man, I don't know, man. All I know is that I did my job and whatever happens, happens. I've worked for this. And these guys are really big. I just thought I was small, Yeah,
dude. Yeah. You'll always think that, though.
Everybody was like, yo, your pictures don't do you no justice. In person, you are completely different. And I'm like, yeah, you say that, but I don't. These are my friends here telling me these things. Yeah. But once we got through check, the first off, the pros, and you notice, they treat you so much different. It is like they run a tight ship. Everything is very structured in such a good way. They give out the best goodies, man. They gave me a beautiful brand new book bag that is very high quality. It had so many things in there, from high quality water bottles to CBD gummies to towels and T-shirts and hats and so many different things. And I was like, wow, I get to take this? not a drawstring bag? Then you're seeing all these other guys like these big bodybuilders that have all this buzz, Nick Walkers and people like that. And I'm like, wow, this is dope to see these guys. I've been watching you guys on the internet. I'm watching all these men physique pros and I'm seeing them backstage. And when we checking in and I'm thinking like, man, I don't know if I can hang with this, but I'm going to go out there and I'm going to try. I'm going to try to do my best and do what I do. I prepare for this. And leading up to the show that day when we woke up, my girl said, are you nervous? I said, absolutely not. I'm not nervous. I'm more anxious because this is a bodybuilding show. I'm not going out here to fight anybody. I'm not going to get harmed. I'm going to go on stage. I'm going to smile and I'm going to show what I've worked on and I've been practicing for the last few months. And that's what really gave me the confidence. And I felt like it was fun, man. It just that whole experience leading up to that day of the show. And I felt really good as the day went on Thursday. And when I woke up, I seen myself and I said, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready for today. Yeah, it was dope.
Yeah, dude, I understand. And this is what I tell people. I'm like, I'm an adult, 28, got a job, I pay taxes, right? Got health insurance.
Yeah.
You're going up against some grown-ass men.
Yeah, man, seriously. These guys are in their 30s.
Yep.
Mid to late, not late, but mid-30s, early 30s. They are very much matured at this, very experienced.
Yep. And
you wonder if you can even, just scratch the surface of even being relevant. We all want a place. Give me 15th at least. I don't want to be 16. Give me 15 at least so I can say, hey, I placed. You know what I'm saying? So I was like I said, Thursday I was a little defeated when I got back, but once my mind got refocused and I, kept doing what I was doing and I had to check in, Omar made me check in with him every 45 minutes after my meals. Just to see, every 45 minutes after a meal, let me see what you look like. And when I would take these pictures and then send it to him, I would be like, oh man, I'm getting better. And he said, we don't need to change anything. I still want to see you every 45 minutes, but we're not changing anything. And his reactions told me everything I needed to know. And it gave me a lot more confidence. He doesn't, brag, boast, and beat it, like give you a big head, gas you up too much.
Yeah.
But just knowing that he liked what he's seen gave me confidence. And then, like I said, Friday rolled around and I was ready to go.
Man.
Shout out to my girl again. She's my tanning lady. So like she does my tan. Yeah, she does my tan. I don't do any I don't do any spray tan at any shows anymore.
Okay.
I decided to go with Pro Tan and then apply it myself. We tried it out for the first time in Universe in 2019, and she nailed it. And that was a flaw of mine in previous shows, getting spray tans from companies and different services. It just didn't, the color wasn't right. So I decided, let me try something different. And it worked out. And she nails it every time now.
That was one difference. I talked to Mike about this. And I wish I would have knew that then, but I knew it, this year. When I got on stage, I was just a shade or two lighter than you and Mike. And Mike's a dark-skinned brother, right?
Yeah.
I'm on the lighter skin, but you guys came in darker for you.
Yes.
And I don't care what anyone says, like, it makes a difference. It just
absolutely.
It makes a little difference. So this year I told my tanning people at Flawless Dark Tan down in Texas, I was like, make me 80% cocoa.
Yes.
I want to be 80%.
Yes.
Just dark enough, like where it's like unquestionable. But nah, man, you guys are great. You were great then. Yeah, you look good this weekend. And tell me about backstage with everyone else. How were the pros? How were you received?
So it was when I got to the venue, I was fortunate enough to see one of my teammates who I kind of have only met through Instagram.
Yeah.
And he was like, hey, what's up? Yo, come on, I'm gonna take you backstage. Let's go backstage. And he was like, how you feeling? And I'm like, I'm good, man. I'm not nervous or nothing. I'm a little anxious. I'm ready to get going. He was like, listen, don't worry about it. It's nothing big. Just take your time. When you get up there, just take your time. He's like, it's not going to be a bit nothing. So we get to walking in there and we get backstage and he's like, oh, hey, have you met Charjo? Have you met, such and such? So we all kind of meet up. He's introducing me. That's kind of calming me down some. Yep. And I've spoken to these guys on Instagram as well. So right then and there, I feel good. I feel this connection with them. I know that they are genuine people. They want to see me do well. Us as a team, we are one. That's how we feel. Nobody is better than anybody, regardless of where they're placing at. We all just want to be good, and we're going to help each other get there.
Yep.
So I met a couple of the guys that we follow and we see that are big, bigger names, and they're all, with their friends talking. Everybody's cool, and I'm just like, but I'm not the type of person that's shy or timid. I'll mix it up with anybody. I'll jump into conversations and stuff like that. So that's what I did. I just kind of got myself around them, said what's up to people, guys that I have, I follow that I use for motivation and stuff. It's an honor to be here on and share the stage with you. It's nice to meet you. My name is such and such, man. Thank you. You know what I'm saying? Just kind of like that. And everybody was really, really cool. There was nobody on no arrogant type stuff. Nobody walking around all cocky like I'm big and bad. Everybody was just normal people, you know? And that was a big thing because I expected the complete opposite. Yeah. And that made me feel good about it. And it also gives you as a person it tells you how you need to be and carry yourself as well.
I wish that same mentality was shared throughout the NPC, right?
Yeah, it's not, man. It's like we talked about earlier, man. It's night and day in regards to the backstage competitor in the NPC versus the IFBB. At the IFBB, we all know that we are all hitters. We all are pros. Yep. We all are good, right? Yeah. We wouldn't have that title of IFBB Pro if we wasn't good enough. Yep. In the NPC, for some reason, it's people who just feel like I'm above you no matter. I'm better than you. I'm this, I'm that. And that's part of the reason why going back to, you know, in universe, when I said I was just sitting down quiet, just watching people, because I could see that in a lot of these guys.
Yeah.
Walking around like, man, I'm about to kill it. I remember being in line before we went out, and one of the guys was in front of me, and he was like, yeah, this is easy. I just came off a show at Junior Nats, and I'm about to go kill it with pose and knots. I'm going pro today. They're going to show. He was just talking and talking, and I kid you not, when I seen him step up there and start hitting his poses, I said, you're kidding me, right? You're kidding me? And I'm like, oh, man, good luck to you, buddy. And, you know, this specific guy didn't even do well. He fell way off, you know. So, I mean, you got to kind of keep that ego in check or whatever. You got to just humble yourself a little bit, because it's people working harder than you. Trust me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if you think for a minute that you are above everyone, trust me, that is the person who is slacking off, because they've become complacent and they've settled because of that attitude of I'm better than everybody. You can't think like that.
Yeah, you really can't. It's a terrible trap. And like you said, they're all hitters. Like my coach put it best. Like I got 10th out of 43 guys. Yeah. It's like you beat 33 class winners.
Dude, that's amazing.
Like when you think about that,
yeah,
that's crazy.
Amazing.
And you yourself, you finished 6th out of 48.
Yeah, man.
Dude, when I saw it, I was like, I'm so happy. I was so impressed. Dude, honestly, I didn't even know you were doing the show. You know, Instagram algorithms and everything.
Yeah.
You had went a little dark, and I was like, all right, cool. Then you just pop up.
Yeah, okay. I purposely did that. I didn't really post about it, talk about it much this time, because of COVID and because of all the people who always got stuff to say. So if I posted it and they like, oh, that show might get canceled, I didn't want to have any of that negative stuff coming my way. I wanted to just worry about myself. It was hard not to post some things and pictures I'm taking and I'm looking great. And I'm
like, ooh.
You know, but I had to save it, man, and not really talk about it. And I think towards the end is where I kind of put it out there. And once I, seeing my name on that NPC list for the first time, was like, yo, this is dope. Like I always wanted to see my name here and envision being there, and to actually get my name on the list was just like validation for me. Like I'm here now. So now I just got to go finish the job and do what I do. And, again, seeing all the names on the list, I could literally sit there and make myself crazy by counting out this person, this person, this person, this person. And every time I counted one, I fell back a place to the point where I wasn't even considering myself being in the top 10 because I felt like there was such good competition there because of past shows that these guys are doing. And I'm like, I don't know if I'm gonna get to place that high.
Yeah.
But I'm here. I know I've done the work. I know I've done everything, and I'm gonna go show that. And it was rewarded beyond what I could have imagined because, placing where I place, knowing that I was right behind current and previous Olympians, and I beat out current or previous Olympians, guys who I know was placing higher in other shows. That was a big thing for me, like knowing, okay, I belong here. I really do.
I'm so glad you said that because, like, dude, I was going to ask you, you said the word validation, and when I left the stage, I felt validated.
Yes.
Right? And you just said, I know I belong. I had that same sentiment. It's like, you bust your ass. Yeah, you won the overall at a national show, but that doesn't mean anything now, right?
Because you turn pro and you at this high level now, right there, this cloud, But in reality, once you get to that pro level, you're the rookie again. You're the amateur again, in a sense, in a different level, a league. And it's back to square one. You back at the bottom. How do you get yourself to that next level to be at the top like you was in the amateurs to turn pro? How do you get there? And it's the same thing that got you there in the first place. You got to work for it. You got to be disciplined. You got to be passionate about it. You got to be a little bit selfish sometimes, but you got to really do everything that you did before to get you where you was at, and maybe a little bit more.
And then some. Exactly.
Yep.
Well, dude, what's next for you?
Right now, I'm gonna be having. I basically have to wait it out until 2021 because
That's right.
what's left on the schedule is all California shows and internationals, and most of the Cali shows have been canceled or postponed to later dates. So, and then some are mostly masters classes, and I'm not a master's. I'm not old enough for Masters Pro, anyways.
That gets you points anyway.
Yeah, so it's pretty much not worth it. So what I'm doing now is kind of waiting on some feedback to see what they would like to see me improve on. Because last time, in a couple of days, I'm gonna post, maybe tomorrow. You know how the Transformation Tuesday, I'm gonna post my improvements that I was recommended to me from Universe to now. Man, when I tell you these are incredible transformations from the improvements that was made, I literally hit the nail on the head with what they wanted me to do, from bringing in the back detail.
Go ahead, tell me. I'll wait to chop this up and post it, but let me know. Well, what was the feedback? Because we had Tyler judging Universe. Who was judging Chicago? Was it Steve?
He was.
Tyler
and Steve.
Yeah, all right, cool.
Yeah, Tyler and Steve was, but Tyler ran the show. My feedback from them in Universe was to add detail and bring add detail to my back.
Yeah.
And to fill in my upper chest. That's the only two things from two judges that I got feedback from. It was literally the same thing across the board.
Yep.
And I was able to do just that and probably like more. It was like, it's dramatic.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I want to hear. Might have to be. I'm calling you, asking for some tips, because for the most part, when we talk about men's physique, it is back and upper chest.
Yeah.
Right. It's this level that is one of the things that separates you. Right.
Yeah. I truly believe that.
We all get crispy. It's the weird things, like the way I posed in the morning versus the night.
Yeah.
And I got better feedback at night. It's like, but it was something you could never know, because we're in COVID, these weird times.
Yeah.
And this is the first show of really the year since everything opened back up.
Right. Yeah, it is crazy how that works out like that. I mean, for me, just working on the things that they told me, I worked at it tireless. Like, I was so diligent with everything that I wanted to do. And I was just obsessed with bringing up those parts. I knew that I had to, and it really paid off very well for me, man. I think, like, again, I didn't imagine they was giving out the top 6 awards, and for me to land there, you know, I missed the first call out, which is okay. I know that I could have been in that first call out, but the fact that they were only choosing 5 as the call out kind of left me out. But I seen the reaction of the judges when I was on stage, and I knew that they're not reacting amongst each other and making marks because I look bad. They would just sit back and not say nothing if I was nothing, you know? So it was more like that gave me some confidence. And when I heard them give out the call outs, I was like, I missed it. And then quickly my mind changed. I said, you know what? That's 5. That means that they have to call another 5. That's a top 10 placing.
Yeah.
And again, going back to what you was talking about, we all come in crispy. We all come in sharp. But everybody has abs. Everybody's got abs. Dieting, and we got low body fat. Yeah, but you know what? When they tell you to turn around and face that curtain, not everybody has a back. And that's what separates people from others, because that tells who was really working hard and who's not.
Yep.
And I know that that's a strong muscle group for me. So I knew that when we turned around, I'm going to give somebody a problem. And sure enough, when I turned around and they told us to turn back around, first number they called was me. I looked to see, and there was a center stage. I was like, let's go. I'm going to finish in 6th place. And that's how it finished. And when I finished there, I know also in the pros, well, I judged at nights in some instances where things can change.
Yeah.
So I knew I had to keep everything together, come back sharper, and which I was able to do so. and it worked out really well because I finished where I landed in prejudging, and it just blew up from there. Everybody was hitting me up like, "Oh my God, like, yo, you just play all these guys that are like, all these big names, and this is where you place." And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
I belong here.
Dude, I'm so happy for you.
Thank you.
I got Mill 6 coming up. I don't even know. I don't even know.
Yeah, I got 5 coming up right now. So yeah.
You can be up. Before we go, a couple things. Do you have any plugs? Anything you want to say? Shout out to your girl. We did that one. Online coaching, plug yourself for that. Any sponsorships, posing, Omar?
No, right now I haven't had any sponsorships or anything. I'm still kind of hoping that changes a little bit now, especially after my placing. I know that I need to just get myself out there more. That's the main thing. Yeah. But yeah, man, I mean, I got to shout out, my girl first and foremost. She the one that just holds it down and makes sure that I'm, good. I have everything I need. I got to shout out my coach, obviously Omar Ventura, for, guiding me and making sure that I'm doing the right things that works for me. Also, anybody, it's too many people to name, but anybody and everybody who believe in me and was always telling me, giving me words of encouragement, but not telling me what I needed to hear, because some people do that. And I don't need that. I need the raw truth from people. And if you don't feel that you can deliver that, just don't say nothing at all. So it's a lot of people who was involved in this, from the messages, from helping me with posing to make sure my posing was right. Even the gym thing, when my homie was Chad, I got to shout out Chad. He helped me with the gym thing. I just got to say thank you to everybody, man. So hopefully a lot of things start changing and things start to get better for me. I want to network and get, into it with a lot more of the pros and get out there. So that's my next move, is, doing a little bit of traveling and seeing who I can link up with, get some training sessions in with, because I'm a dog in the gym, so they better be ready, because I don't come to do no, I don't come to do no cute stuff, man. I train,
Come to Indiana. I'm here.
Yeah, man. Hell yeah, definitely. Yeah. I would like to do that. That's definitely different. That's something I like to travel, man. I got to do that. So, yeah.
I travel way too much. Like, I think Chase calls me, like, stay home, say yes at home, bro.
That's funny.
But it's all good. Hey, when you travel, you link up folks, send them my way. I want to blow this up, because this is for people like us, right? The reason I started this is, you look at Fuab, he does a wonderful job, Muscle Rights with Dave Palumbo. Yep. I love those guys, right?
Yep. I listen
Talk about the same 10 guys.
Right.
There's a ton of athletes that need their shine. Not only men's physique, but the open guys, the women's physique, the bikini girls. Everyone deserves, their little bit, because they're all, like you said, they're all busting their ass, right?
Yeah, we're working.
They're working. They're next up. Before we go, right, we got 2021 coming up.
Yeah.
Why are you next up? What makes you so special for next year?
What makes me so special is the fact that I work hard. My physique is complete, I feel like. And I think I have a very well-balanced physique. I don't have too much of this or too little of this. I think I have something special here. Everybody knows by now that I bring some high-quality conditioning, which is always going to be rewarded. And I think that that's something that's going to carry me, far in this game. And that's why I can be up next. My conditioning and my shape is meant for this division, is meant for this sport. Yep. And I'm going to continue to get better by working and doing what I'm supposed to do.
Dude, man, I love it. Thank you. Thank you for today. Congrats on the win.
Thank you for having me, man.
No, it's a pleasure. I enjoy that moment of, validation. Bring that, with you throughout the rest of the year, especially this off season. Let's get a game plan going, and hopefully I'll be able to see you out there. If the world calms down and lines up.
I know, man. Yes. I'm hoping that it does. Thank you.
Hey, thank you. I'll talk to you later. I'm going to...